You know that feeling when you're second-guessing everything? When every message gets analyzed, every glance dissected, every interaction replayed in your mind. Here's what I've learned after years of watching relationships unfold. The heart speaks a language that has nothing to do with words. And when a woman truly loves you, not just enjoys your company, not just finds you convenient, her entire being shifts into something unmistakable. Today, I'm sharing 6 behaviors that emerge only when her soul has recognized yours. These aren't things she calculates. They're not strategies or games. They're instincts that surface when her walls come down completely. Once you recognize these patterns, you'll never waste time wondering where you stand again. Sign 1. The invisible caretaker emerges. Something fascinating happens when a woman's heart opens completely. She becomes attuned to your rhythms in ways that feel almost supernatural. Your coffee appears before you realize you need it. Your favorite meal materializes on stressful days. Your energy shifts register in her awareness like seismic activity. This isn't about traditional roles or expectations. This is about emotional investment reaching cellular levels. When she loves you, your well-being becomes woven into her daily consciousness. She'll notice you're fighting something before you've named it yourself. She'll create space for your healing without you asking. She'll anticipate your needs with an accuracy that borders on mind reading. But here's the crucial distinction. This nurturing flows from abundance, not obligation. From joy, not duty. From a heart that sees your growth as sacred work. She won't perform this magic for someone she's uncertain about. She won't reorganize her world for a placeholder. She won't invest her energy in someone who might disappear. This level of care is reserved for the man who has become part of her inner circle. The one whose dreams matter as much as her own. The one whose peace she protects like a treasure. Watch for these moments. When she smooths your day without fanfare. When she tends to details you haven't mentioned. When she creates conditions for your success before you've even asked. That's not just kindness. That's love speaking in its mother tongue. Sign 2. The fierce protector. Here's where love reveals its warrior side. When a woman truly loves you, she becomes your invisible shield in spaces where you can't defend yourself. Your reputation becomes her sacred ground. Your character becomes her hill to die on. Your dignity becomes her non-negotiable boundary. Listen to how she speaks about you when you're not around. Does she redirect conversations that turn toward your flaws? Does she shut down criticism with quiet authority? Does she illuminate your strengths when others focus on your weaknesses? Most people stay neutral when absent friends get dissected. They laugh along with the crowd. They let slides pass without intervention. But a woman who loves you operates differently. She'll interrupt her best friend mid-sentence if the tone turns disrespectful. She'll risk social awkwardness to redirect negative conversations. She'll plant seeds of your worth in soil where others try to grow doubt. This protection isn't loud or dramatic. It's steady and unwavering. It's the kind of loyalty that builds legends. She knows your flaws intimately. She's seen your worst moments. She understands your struggles better than anyone, yet she chooses to amplify your light instead of broadcasting your shadows. When someone loves you this way, your absence becomes an opportunity for them to honor your presence. Your name in their mouth becomes a prayer, not a complaint. Your memory becomes a blessing they share, not a burden they carry. This is how you know you've moved beyond casual affection into something eternal. She doesn't just love you when you're there to appreciate it. She loves you when loving you costs her something. Sign 3. The heart that chooses before the mind decides. Long before any official conversation happens, her heart makes a choice, and that choice reshapes everything. She stops entertaining options that once seemed interesting. She pulls back from connections that once felt harmless. She creates boundaries that protect something she hasn't even named yet. This isn't about rules or restrictions. This is about recognition. Her soul recognizes yours and begins clearing space automatically. Late-night texting with random guys suddenly feels empty. Flirtatious banter that once felt fun now feels like betrayal. Attention from other men becomes noise instead of validation. She doesn't do this because you've asked. She does it because her heart has already decided. Watch for the subtle shifts. Her social media presence becomes more private. Her weekend plans start considering your feelings. Her conversations with other men become noticeably different. She's not playing games or trying to impress you. She's simply aligning her actions with her heart's truth. When a woman loves you, exclusivity begins in her emotions long before it becomes official in your relationship. She starts protecting what you haven't even asked her to protect. She starts prioritizing what you haven't even discussed. She starts choosing you in small moments when choosing doesn't seem to matter. This is profound because it reveals intention. Anyone can be exclusive when they've promised to be. But only someone who truly loves you becomes exclusive because they can't imagine being any other way. Her heart builds walls around your connection without your permission, not to keep you trapped, but to keep everything else out. That's when you know you're not just an option. You're the option. Sign 4. The art of harmony without surrender. When a woman loves you, she doesn't try to absorb you or disappear into you. She learns to dance with you. She pays attention to your rhythms without abandoning her own. She honors your passions without sacrificing her dreams. She supports your journey without losing her path. This is delicate work. She starts understanding your world, not to invade it, but to appreciate it. She learns the language of your ambitions, not to control them, but to celebrate them. She recognizes your battles, not to fight them for you, but to stand beside you. You'll notice she asks different questions, deeper questions, questions that reveal genuine curiosity about who you're becoming. She remembers details about your goals that you mentioned once. She checks in on progress you forgot you shared. She celebrates victories you thought went unnoticed. But here's the beautiful paradox. As she moves closer to your world, she becomes more herself, not less. She doesn't shrink to fit your life. She expands to encompass both your dreams and hers. She finds ways to weave your stories together without losing the threads that make her unique. This is what mature love looks like. Not codependency, but interdependence. Not absorption, but integration. Not surrender, but partnership. She becomes fluent in your language while maintaining her own voice. She learns to support your vision while keeping her own dreams alive. She figures out how to be your companion without becoming your shadow. When you find someone who can do this, who can love you deeply while remaining authentically themselves, you've found something rare. Most people either lose themselves in love or keep themselves so separate that love can't reach them. But a woman who truly loves you finds a sacred space between those extremes. The space where two whole people create something greater than the sum of their parts. Sign 5. The sanctuary of broken moments. Here's where love proves its authenticity. When your mask slips and she doesn't flinch. When your strength fails and she doesn't flee. When your darkness surfaces and she doesn't judge. Most people love your highlight reel. Your success, your confidence, your polished presentation. But the woman who truly loves you, she loves your outtakes too. She sees you unraveled and thinks you're still worth choosing. She witnesses your fears and respects you more for sharing them. She watches you break and immediately starts thinking about how to help you rebuild. This isn't about fixing you. It's about holding space for your humanity. She doesn't try to talk you out of your struggles. She doesn't minimize your pain or rush your healing. She doesn't turn your vulnerability into ammunition for later fights. Instead, she becomes your safest place. The one person who knows your full story and still believes in your potential. The one witness to your worst moments who still sees your best self. The one sanctuary where you can be completely real without fear of abandonment. She'll challenge you when you need challenging. She'll push you when you need pushing. She'll call you out when you need accountability. But she'll never make you feel like your struggles disqualify you from love. This is revolutionary in a world that often demands perfection. To find someone who sees your cracks and thinks they make you more beautiful. To find someone who knows your history and still believes in your future. To find someone who witnesses your breaking and stays to help with the mending. When you discover this kind of love, protect it, because it's not just about finding someone who loves your light. It's about finding someone who isn't afraid of your darkness. Someone who sees both and chooses to stay anyway. That's not just love. That's home. Sign 6. the choice that transcends feeling. Love isn't just an emotion. It's a decision made fresh every day. And when a woman truly loves you, you can see this choice in action. On the days when everything feels difficult, when chemistry takes a back seat to commitment, when love requires more effort than it provides energy, she still chooses you. Not because she feels like it, not because it's easy, not because you deserve it in that moment, but because she's made a decision that transcends temporary feelings. You'll see this in the small moments. When she's frustrated with you but still asks about your day. When she's tired but still makes time for conversation. When she's overwhelmed but still prioritizes your connection. This isn't about obligation or duty. This is about recognizing that real love includes seasons of all kinds. She understands that feelings fluctuate, that chemistry has cycles, that even the deepest connections require conscious cultivation. So she chooses to love you through the valleys, not just on the peaks. She chooses to invest in your relationship when it's hard, not just when it's easy. She chooses to see your potential when your present feels disappointing. This is the difference between loving someone and being in love with the idea of someone. When she loves you, really loves you, she's committed to the long story, not just the exciting chapters. She's chosen you not just for who you are today, but for who you're becoming. She's invested not just in the good times, but in the growth that comes through challenges. This is rare. This is precious. This is a kind of love that builds lifetimes. The truth about recognition. These signs aren't a checklist to manipulate or demand. They're a mirror to help you recognize what you already have, or what you're still looking for. Because here's the thing. Love this deep, this intentional, this committed, it's not common, but it's not impossible either. It exists in the space between two people who decided that what they're building together matters more than what they could find separately. It grows in the soil of mutual respect, shared values, and genuine friendship. It thrives when both people are committed to becoming their best selves, not just finding their perfect match. So if you recognize these patterns in your life, treasure them. If you don't settle for less. Because everyone deserves to experience love that speaks in actions, not just words. Love that protects, prioritizes, and perseveres. Love that sees your full humanity and chooses to stay anyway. That's not just romantic love. That's the kind of love that changes everything. And once you've experienced it, you'll never be satisfied with anything less. The question isn't whether this kind of love exists. The question is whether you're ready to recognize it when it appears, and whether you're prepared to offer in return. Because love like this is always a two-way street. It requires two people who understand that real love isn't just found. It's built day by day, choice by choice, moment by moment. Are you ready for that kind of love? Are you ready to become that kind of person? The answer to those questions will determine everything.